Uh, Hello, this is DJ Mega Game 17, and this is another Mega Game Hangout.
Woo!
I
You
sound more
know?
enthusiastic, but I'm a little annoyed right now. But uh,
Sorry,
uh,
type late, you know?
huh?
Type late, cats are trying to
No,
unwind from
I
a
wanted to
hard
start this.
week.
I kind of wanted to start this like 30 minutes ago, and that didn't happen. So
Uh, it's been a little bit of a messy day, I can tell. So
no,
what's going on, Anthony?
it was going okay until it's like as soon as I ready to start the stream, and then then crap started happening.
Uh, yeah. People don't work around your schedule. It never happens. You can never count on people.
Schedule?
Schedule. Screw schedules.
No, the other thing is that uh, alright, this is gonna be a problem. I
You
see this
s-
now.
you seem absolutely distraught right now.
Mm,
Just a minute. Alright. I
mm,
will be right back, but I'm going to ask you this question. For the people that's watching this, do you guys think The Legend of Korra is better than Avatar: The Last Airbender? Answer now in their Q&A or whatever. I'll be right back. I'm going to
sure,
mute myself right now.
sure.
Okay. So we are going to, I guess, make a point here.
Would you care to start us off?
Okay. So I personally enjoyed both series. I can't say I really disliked the original Avatar at all. I thought it was like almost perfect. And I think it's kind of a strong statement to say that Legend of Korra was better writing wise because in a lot of ways it was less consistent than the original series, but I thought it developed its characters in a much uh, I guess in a much more powerful sort of way. Pretty much everything after season one, and I guess there were. I guess season two wasn't really my favorite, but I felt like it did touch upon a lot of stuff. It had some great villains. It had a lot, and there's a lot of stuff that the original Avatar series kind of lacked. And I think the one major thing that the original Avatar series lacked was like good villains. I don't think it really had really good villains. I didn't really like Ozai. Zula was okay, but I felt like the one thing that uh, Legend of Korra did very well was introducing far better villains.
I would argue that the problem that existed, in particular with the first Avatar series, was that it was more so focused on the development of Aang and not so much development of the actual world that Aang was in. And what I mean by that, we spent a great deal of time with the series speaking about the spirit world and Aang's development as an avatar.
And you actually
Avatar
learn
series.
why the Avatar exists.
Right.
You
So
get
there was a
more into
lot
the
more
original
time spent
Avatar.
in exposition as opposed to alright, explanation of the world. Um, and I know that doesn't seem to make sense because if it's the very first series, you would think that it would give you an explanation of the world. Well, the reason I say this is because we sort of didn't get a hold of who Firelord Ozai really was until the third book. That
I
took a while.
I personally didn't even mind not knowing who he was because I liked him being kind of this super dangerous character shrouded in shadow. I kind of liked that. But at the same time, his character seemed almost too evil. I guess it was kind of like it was too easy to dislike him.
I
I,
felt
I, I
that
liked Azula as a character because she seemed like she had like an extra dimension to her character, but Ozai seemed very black and white.
yeah, she was evil to the nth degree. Um, she actually made Ozai look fake, honestly.
But I felt like she had a far more interesting, I guess, her personality, and she had a pretty deep personality compared to Ozai. I felt like that kind of made up for her being practically a mustache twirling villain, like just pure evil.
Well, one thing that made her wonderful is she was manipulative. Uh, the second thing that made her so wonderful is that she knew how to take advantage of people's emotions. However, when hers were taking advantage of it, you saw the result. She sort of just unraveled and became borderline. Not even borderline. She was certified crazy. Uh, so push comes to shove, she couldn't handle receiving a taste or a dose of her own medicine.
Yeah.
Um, no, the reason why I personally am a little offended with Ozai, it's and this I guess this is what happens when you grow up watching Dragon Ball Z first off, because you sort of expect the villain to be powerful. Um, you hear the rumors about them for so long, and you finally get exposed to them. You expect this to be epic. You expect this to be a real long, drawn out, difficult process. And I mean, it really wasn't. It started off kind of poor, and then in the sense that Aang was on the run, but that was resolved in a matter of like, maybe 30 minutes. And then after that was just
What?
Philo Ozai just running for his life. Just, that was strange.
Yeah, Ozai as a character, I can't say he was the worst type of villain, but he is the type of villain that doesn't make you he doesn't make you he doesn't make you think a lot. He doesn't really he was pretty much the ideal like cartoon supervillain. He was pretty much a supervillain. I think that's the best way of describing him. But characters like Azula, and we're going into Legend of Korra, pretty much every single villain in Legend of Korra tried to make you think a little bit, while it required no thought to realize that Ozai was wrong.
I felt Amon was a good villain to
Amon
introduce.
was a good concept that turned a little sour.
Right. Um, I can't remember. Oh, Unalaq. There we go. He was my personal favorite in
Oh,
terms
really?
of. Well, Zahir is my favorite in terms of just completely throwing a monkey wrench in the series.
Yeah.
But Unalaq was my personal favorite because he showed Avatar the importance of developing a relationship with the spiritual world. Something
Yeah.
that she never really fostered as she was supposed to. And so I felt that put her into the place she needs to be to deal with Zahir. Even though Zahir showed no, you still had a couple levels to go in terms
Yeah.
of spiritual ascent. She was in a far better place. And if it weren't for what she did, Zahir would have never attained airbending in the first place. So,
Yeah. I thought Unalaq was a good stepping stone to get to Zahir. I thought it was like
yeah,
having this character who is in touch with his spiritual side. He's kind of in touch with all that stuff, but at the same time, he's selfish. He's pretty much everything he does is very self-serving. But then when you jump to Zahir, he kind of contrasts that character of Unalaq very well, and I think that's kind of jumping from somebody like, yeah, there's a supervillain who's based. We have this character who's like really evil and he's doing things for himself, but then it jumps to this guy who is pretty much pure, and it makes Zahir look even better. And I think Unalaq going on to Zahir really they complemented each other by being what Zahir had to follow up. Unalaq was great.
I can't disagree with you there. One thing that I would like to add, and then if there's anything that you'd like to address afterwards, feel free to do so. If you notice how the teams were constructed in terms of the team Avatar, and then Zahir's team, the Red Lotus, it was almost like a much more mature Aang, um, in the sense, and he basically looked like Aang, if you think about it a little bit.
Yeah,
An adult version of Aang, minus the arrow, um, and a bit more mature. Uh, well, obviously that's I'm searching for the word here, but I can't pick it up right now. Um, oh, wouldn't even say confident, but the point is that he was willing to deal with the reality of what it is, see it for what it is, and then say, well, it's not working. Let's remove that system or replace it with a better system. Um, and he had no hesitation in executing his plan, the firm belief that whatever he had decided to do would be the best course of action for humanity. Sort of like what the Avatar is supposed to do. You're supposed to do what's best for the both worlds, the spiritual and the physical realm.
Yeah.
And you have to be comfortable and confident in whatever you choose to do. You have to stand on it. You have to have conviction now. And I felt that he had more conviction than the Avatar did because he got her to second guess what she was fighting for. And once he did that, he already won the fight. Now it's just a matter of physically taking her behind the woodshed and beating her.
Like I thought Zahir was everything about his character was pretty much done to perfection. That's why I think that season was pretty much the best one. And whether we're talking about the whole Legend of Korra series being better than the original Avatar or not, I'd say that season was at least the best out of all the seasons from both series.
Affirmative.
Like the argument can be made that the original Avatar was better because I think it was paced better. I think the romantic aspect of it was even though these were kids, they still managed to be more mature than the teenagers who really just couldn't get their crap together.
Right.
It
But
seemed like it had. What?
I would say that has more so to do with Aang's upbringing first,
Yeah.
and how he was raised. It's far different,
Yeah.
far more isolated.
It just seemed like the original had more direction romantically, but I'd say that was kind of something out of their control because the first season of Legend of Korra was supposed to be it, but it was so well received that they ordered 3 more books. So then they'd already had Mako and Korra, so everybody stayed for kind of the romantic aspect of things, so they had to kind of mix it up. I don't think that was as good for the long run of just the story, but that was better for keeping people watching, I guess.
And
But it was a situation out of their control that kind of made it seem like they had less direction, especially with the end being that vague, not so vague lesbian hint at the end.
oh no, it was confirmed.
Yeah, I was happy about that to a certain degree because I thought it was going to happen, but then I was like, no, they're not going to do that. But then they actually did it, and I was just happy that they actually did it rather than thinking about it from a writing standpoint.
Mm.
It was more like I was just excited that they actually did this thing that I thought was going to happen, but seemed improbable.
But then the thing that was frustrating about that was then why build this entire relationship between Mako and Korra for so long? It would have been better if that had simply disintegrated and made the opening far more clear for Asami and Korra to be. Obviously, that happened in book 4, but it was after all the fighting had taken place and not before, where you could see, oh no, there's a clear. They dropped several hints, but it's almost more of a friendship type of situation as opposed to a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
As they were towards the end of the series, right before the final credits.
Yeah. The big I guess the one big issue with Mako and Korra's relationship is that it was kind of baseless. I mean, I guess they liked each other as friends, but like in the end of season 1, here's the thing that bothered me. They were close. They were good friends, but when Korra thought she'd had her when she thought she had her bending taken away, she kind of shunned Mako, but once she got her way, she accepted Mako. It's like they weren't able to actually last through struggle, and I guess that was kind of what their relationship was like. They couldn't maintain a romantic relationship with turbulence. I guess that was the problem with them.
Mm.
Like even from the moment that was supposed to be a feel-good moment at the end of the first season, it still seemed like you could have accepted his feelings when it was inconvenient, but you didn't want to do that. You
The
decided to
problem,
push him away a little bit.
and it also seemed to be core belittling Marco's position in terms of him being, somebody who still had to answer to someone, as
Yeah,
opposed to Cora sort of being the end all be all, whatever she decided the world had to accept. So you
yeah,
could argue that this also showcased uh, a real world situation between someone who's an employee, and someone who actually controls their own business, who has control of their assets and how things are done, how
yeah,
they can leave an imprint on the world as they see it because they have the power and authority to do so. So, in other words, mm, spiritually, he's not on her level, and
hmm,
in terms of bending, you could argue that he's on her level, but he only has a certain number of steps that he could follow her until she sort of just veers to the right, and he's still, well, I can't keep up. I don't know where you're taking me. So,
yeah,
yeah. In other words, I'm just trying to say there's so many inequalities in terms of their spiritual, bending, professional uh, stages that makes their relationship incompatible.
yeah. They're that's what I was just about to say. They just were incompatible in so many ways. Like I would have loved to see them try. I was hoping they were gonna throw Bolin a bone, but they kind of did, but not with Korra. There are like those two. They are compatible. Like I feel like even as friends or romantically, they could have been compatible, but people just wouldn't have liked it because it didn't look like the right relationship, which kind of upsets me.
My personal favorite relationship in the entire series, where
Mm,
I felt that was the type of relationship that works.
yeah,
It worked.
they were just admirable. I just loved it whenever Korra and Bolin would interact because they had such a great chemistry. But in the case of Mako and Asami, I thought they were great until Mako started being kind of I don't know, Mako kind of I don't everybody started calling him a man whore after a little bit because he's like back and forth. He can't make up his mind, and I guess that's the point where I'm like, okay, I didn't like Asami's character at first, but by the time Mako's being, you know, by the time Mako's being like that, I start to think, okay, maybe he just doesn't deserve to be with anybody.
No, Marco is he's
Maybe
an
he's the
interesting
lone
gentleman.
wolf.
Well, it's funny, if I'm not mistaken, he's the oldest, correct?
Yeah,
So you would think he'd be the most mature. And at times it showcased itself in situations that required a great deal of flexibility, a measure of calmness that Cord failed to demonstrate
yeah,
several times, right? So areas that mattered the most, we can say so, but in the ones that to the fans were more important, the romantics, like, he seemed more married to his profession
yeah.
than he
Professionally,
was,
I really respected Mako's character, but
right.
socially, I think he was kind of a failure.
But and that is true in certain sense because when you're married to the hustle, sometimes if you don't find someone who understands the lifestyle, which is funny because you would think Cora, who is also somewhat married to her hustle, which is being protective of the spirit world as well as the physical world and maintain the balance between the two worlds, that they would understand each other's struggles. But I think Korra sort of like, well, my struggles are bigger than yours. Well, that may be true, but the responsibilities that we share in the world that we operate in, though totally separate and independent of each other,
Yeah.
should provide some level of empathy
I'd
towards
say
each other.
that I'd say that for most of it, Korra wasn't even so committed to her role as Avatar for a good portion of it until like really, I think Zahir brought something out in her. Like Unalaq kind of did, but I think
Right.
during the time of Zahir, she really started to understand her role.
And
I
she
think
had,
that's more what the last season was about, like her truly becoming to understand her role.
right, and she wasn't as eager to just punch things out.
Yeah, she was
Show
always
girl.
she
She's
had her
tomboyish.
idea of what an avatar was, and she was kind of committed to that, but she was never committed to what actually being an avatar meant.
Right.
And that's kind of what she picks up after the Zahir situation, somewhat during.
Right, which required a certain level of learning. That the difference between the avatars that we've seen. Now, as far as back as we can go, we saw Roku's early season training of becoming the avatar. We saw that
Yeah,
he had a great bit of learning to do. He had to make some painful choices, basically willingly going against his best friend for the sake of the world, and having to have lost his family essentially just due to time, and
yeah.
having to reestablish a connection to the world in order to save it.
Hmm.
Cora's dilemma was what exactly? She was 16 and just wanted to have fun.
Yeah. I thought Avatar One, the first one,
His
was
was very compelling.
it
Yeah.
was it was it was probably one of my favorite parts in any of the Avatar series. I thought that was a really great way to tell the story. Like
Which,
that was only like 2 episodes that they were able to tell his story pretty well.
but that alone, just because it happened during the Legend of Korra arc, makes that arc makes that series a superior series in comparison to the Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
In my mind,
There are I stay for in the original Avatar. I stay for the main characters. In Korra, I stay for the villains in the world. I guess.
for me, okay, I'll tell you truthfully, there are only two uh, areas in Avatar: The Last Airbender that truly moved me, and they both involve Zuko. Because
Zuko was a
Zuko,
great character.
thank you, thank you, underrated because people don't understand the sort of position that he's put in. He was damned if he did and damned if he didn't.
Yeah.
If he did it, okay, he literally had to destroy the last hope of the world to regain his honor, and if he didn't, his honor would be lost, and he would lose his family forever. Okay, that sounds like a very awesome position to be in at, I don't know, 16 years of age. Your face is half charred off. Okay, you're sitting on a ship in the middle of the Arctic, sorry.
Yeah. I
That's
think
fantastic.
I think when they made Korra, they took some notes from Zuko's development a little bit because the thing is with the original cast, they didn't really develop them all that well as characters. Like they
Thank
were really
you.
cool as base forms, but they didn't really grow so much, except Zuko did. And in the case of the cast from Legend of Korra, they all did have a good portion dedicated to their development.
Well, I would disagree. Okay, uh, the characters' developments in The Legend of Korra, sorry, in Avatar: The Last Airbender, how it went, it was almost like mini episodes. It wasn't something that was continuous and carried into multiple episodes. For example, when Sokka went to the Master's house in the Fire Nation and learned how to use, basically become a swordsman, it wasn't something that was prevalent throughout the remainder of the series. You'd see snippets of it, but it wasn't something that was uh, highlighted consistently from
Yeah.
there on. And I felt like that sort of was the purpose of him going through that process of training and learning the art of being a swordsman.
Yeah, I just think socially, the characters didn't change as much as I would have liked. I thought Aang, like he does have some moments where he really develops, but it's all very sudden, and sometimes it feels like they uh they force the development a little quick in Aang's character, like they do it over like a single episode. I thought
But
a more gradual development like Zuko had was always like the better option. I guess the gradual development is something that they definitely threw in Legend of Korra post season one.
hmm,
I feel like they had that very well thought out. But yeah, that's why I think Zuko is such a great character. Like yeah, physically he became stronger in his own ways, but more than anything, I like how he developed socially. That's why the third book was really entertaining because Zuko is trying to adapt to being a good guy, and that's one of those things that I thought was both hilarious and kind of touching in its own moments.
but you just said something that I think many people would be like, wait, yeah, he had difficulty becoming a good guy. I think that would be misleading because if we remember why he was banished, it was because he was a good guy in the defense of the troops that were going to be sacrificed. He was unwilling to see unnecessary bloodshed. So it was not necessarily him becoming a good guy, it was going back to what he originally was.
Yeah, I think that's a good point because the original Zuko, like from the flashbacks, was a lot more like how he ended up in the end. That does make sense. Overall, I do enjoy how he tried to unlearn his evil
Despotic
side,
ways.
kind of. That's probably a better way to put it. Learning to be a good guy, I guess he had that in him to begin with, but unlearning what he did to kind of impress his father is kind of where he shined very well as a character. He became very likable as soon as he I, I guess the moment he cut off his ponytail and became shaggy hair Zuko, I guess that's like the moment he started becoming more human.
That's Pretty Boy Zuko at that point. That's Pretty
Yeah,
Boy Zuko.
pretty boy Zuko. I guess that's the perfect time to make him look like a pretty boy when you're showing how sensitive he is.
Right. See? There you go.
Everything makes sense.
Yeah, you nailed it right on the head.
Hmm.
But you know, the thing that makes Zuko more interesting is that it's funny. He's a master in multiple things. He's a master swordsman. He happens to be a master singing horn player, which I found to be pretty funny. So he's naturally talented, except in the area that seems to be of most importance, which is just being a firebender. But even that, he's proven to be pretty capable. Um, he's shown to be effective as a leader and teacher. Um, so he has a whole host of traits, but it took time for them to come to light.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could argue he's the most complete character in the series.
Hmm. Yeah, I would say that Zuko is I'm not sure. I guess he'd probably be one of my favorite. I guess he's my favorite good guy out of
Mm,
out of any of it. And Zahir, I guess, is my favorite bad guy, if you want to call him that. It's hard to call him a bad guy.
it really is. It
I
really
I call him a bad guy to simplify it, but if I want to go into that conversation as to whether or not he was bad or good, I could talk about that for days.
is. I'll say my piece and then leave it up to you if you want to take it and just chew it up and just spit it out, or if you actually want to, you know, uh, continue it further. Zahir represented what the ideal avatar should be, uncompromising on uh, your beliefs. Once you come to that point where you once you come to that point of realization in what you stand for, And you have to be willing to make sacrifices. I mean, he sacrificed basically all those that were close to him to achieve his goal. Aang had that situation too when he was with the Guru. He had to give up all attachments
Hmm.
in order to take that next step, um, and he wasn't willing to. And it almost cost him everything that he cared for, regardless, including his own life. So
Yeah.
basically, the hero showed you what sacrifice really means, with what true freedom really costs. One's entire existence as you know it. And if you are willing to stake that for it, then you will never accomplish what you seek to
Yeah.
accomplish.
Zahir would have made a great Avatar.
That's the point.
Yeah.
They kept uh,
It would have been so.
drawing about the Hima from the Air Nation of his teachings, sort of harkening back to uh, those those times where
I remember hearing this theory back in season one, and I actually brought it back for season three because I thought this was an interesting thing that somebody said.
shoot,
Back in the original Avatar series, there was a point where Aang died and is revived. Do you
yes,
remember that when he
yes,
gets
I do,
hit by lightning? A
yes,
lot of people in the first season thought Amon was kind of like a half Avatar because Aang had died and maybe the cycle had continued partially and just had an incomplete Avatar. But then it turned out we find out how he ended up taking people's power away. But then I started thinking about that theory again. I like to think in my head that uh, that Zahir was just an incomplete Avatar.
the only thing that didn't happen was the speech is coming to him and bowing at his feet and saying, "You are the next Avatar." That was the only thing.
That would have been great.
Mm.
I actually rooted for Zahir, as messed up as it
No, I
got
did.
towards the end.
I was rooting for him throughout the entire thing. I really was. I was like, "No, don't let him get caught now. No, no,
Yeah.
escape, escape."
As soon as they framed it in a dark room and have him well, pretty much torturing Korra. Like when you frame it like that, of course he looks like a villain, but in literally every other context, I had trouble disputing what he says.
Well, when you kill the Earth Queen, it's kind of hard to justify.
They made her so unlikable that nobody cared.
Yeah, I tried. See, there. I tried to defend the Earth Queen. I had nothing else after that. You took my argument away from me. Sorry, Earth Queen. Um, I was surprised that they would actually show a death like that. Even hint that was an actual death. That was interesting to me in terms of the writing and storyboarding. That they would actually make that something. Considering usually Nickelodeon, something like that doesn't fly. Um, that was pretty. That was a big step to me,
Mm, absolutely.
and that also shows you why he's different than Aang. Aang, there was limits to what he was able to do. To here, there were none.
Yeah. Like Zahir, he was the only character that ever got to that point. Really, I can't think of like besides the Guru. Obviously, like there's
Right.
nobody else who was quite like Zahir, and I guess that was
Well,
great. And I loved
technically,
seeing him in season four. That's kind of
yeah.
I love that Korra was able to go to him for advice because he is literally the only person who could truly tell her what an avatar must do.
Well, you could also harken back to Kyoshi as well. She was another one that was completely uncompromising.
Yeah. Yeah, but at that point, Korra couldn't really connect with Kyoshi,
Mm.
which made Zahir pretty much the only option, which was kind of like it was awesome. Like the whole thing about how the whole second half of that series was just a great
Phenomenal.
experience. Like I I have my ups and downs about season two. Season two was mostly perfect.
Mm,
I guess I'm not a huge fan of Unalaq, but I liked what he represented. Like him, I didn't really care about his
was it just
personality
his
that much, but that's
family?
about it.
It was his family, wasn't it? It was kind of depressing, and he did more on you. He did.
Um, wait, what?
I was saying his family in general. Unalaq, because he realized it was a family dispute. That whole chapter two was a family dispute.
Yeah, it was. I kind of forget that he was her uncle.
Right. So it was like, okay, so interesting. So book was getting to know who Cora was. Book two was to get to know her family. Book three was for her to actually get to make contact with the spiritual side of herself. And book four is her finally actually making real contact with the real world.
Yeah, I don't. It just seems like if I go back and rewatch season one, it feels out of place because I feel like all the other seasons have so much. They have
Crush.
like a well, those three seem like they go together so much more well because first of all, the first season wasn't intended to be a part of that story. Like they were written separately, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it's
But
interesting. If he wasn't well received, we would have never had those other three.
hmm,
But those other three felt like they they could have happened regardless if part book one had been written at all.
hmm,
You literally could have just jumped right into book two. Like this is Avatar Korra. This
I
is
would.
her life right now. Here's Unalaq. Go.
Yeah, I think it could be done. But like there are a few things that you'd have to be like, okay, what's going on here? But you'd figure it out pretty quickly.
Right.
Like if you're aware of Avatar as a series, that is.
Right. You're like, oh, okay. So she's the new Avatar. Yeah, that makes sense. We just had an airbender. Now we have a waterbender. Okay, cool. Oh, so she's in the water tribe. Okay, it's been rebuilt. You can see that. Okay, Katara's there. Okay, yeah, all the people that need to know are there. Let's go. It's
Hmm,
perfect.
yeah, I don't know. I still like when I go back and watch the original Avatar, I still do question whether or not Korra really was better because there are so many things that I appreciate about both of them. I just love the world of Avatar so much.
Mm.
It's I love how it's animated. I love just how animals can't just be one thing except for that one bear.
The King's Bear, correct.
Yeah,
The
that's
Earth
the
King.
one thing. And they
Mm,
didn't they reference that bear being killed in
I think
Korra?
so. I think so.
That was
That,
really messed up.
right. One thing I find frustrating is that the Earth rulers tend to be the most useless people in the series, save for King Boom.
Oh yeah. Ah, Boomy, I forgot about him. He's great.
Right,
You just reminded me of Boomy. Now I got to go back and watch the episode he got introduced.
right. I'm still frustrated by. You would have thought there'd be more conversation about him
You
and
would
what
think
about Aang.
Boomy was a weird character, and I guess that's an obvious thing to say.
It helps when you're 112 years old. I don't expect all your screws to be in the right places anymore.
I guess so. I just some of his actions I didn't understand in the slightest.
Again, I'm
Like
112 years old.
like the Fire Nation taking over his nation when he could have easily taken it back.
Well, no, it
Oh,
seems
well,
to be
taking over
well
his
timed.
city.
It seems to be well timed when he took it back. He felt or had the intuition to realize that Fire Nation soldiers were at a disadvantage at the time of the eclipse.
Yeah.
So he kind of was. It was a tactical
It it it
tool.
was. I just don't. It just seemed like he. I don't know. It seems like a lot of trouble for an easy solution to said trouble.
Well, that's
But you
why
know,
he makes all those hard decisions.
still makes sense. But God, the guy, like, his rationale, the way he explains his actions isn't all that great, I guess. And I can't even hate on the character for that because that's just who he is.
He doesn't have to explain himself. He's king.
He's king.
Uh,
I wish he became the Earth King.
Oh, that'd have been terrible.
That would have been awful, but I think it would have been entertaining. I want
Right.
I want like a 3 episode miniseries of
You
Boomy
know,
as Earth King.
speaking of, I actually need to get my hands on the search. Uh,
Oh yeah, I've read The Search. It's okay. It's okay.
so, but
The
I,
th-
I just want to see who's the ghost mother is. What she looks like.
I don't know if you even get that in The Search.
Wow, that's disappointing.
There's The Promise, The Search, and then there's one more after that. I don't know which one you actually get it in. I haven't gotten the last book in The Search, so I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. So then you haven't actually completed that story because I know the search is particularly about Zuko looking for his mother.
Yeah, The Promise was supposed to be about Zuko's mother, but then it turned and then it they decided
And
to
it,
add another it's money. It's money. They got people in thinking they were going to get Zuko's mother, and then they're like, "Oh, you're going to have to go to this series for Zuko's mother."
and somebody is like in the kitchen with her. They're in the kitchen with their mom and dad. Like, Mom, I need to get the search.
Yeah, but it's good if you read it in bulk, I would say. One book at a time was enraging because the pacing was
It's
hard to
awful.
deal with because it wouldn't get to what I wanted to see. It had lots of distractions.
I feel you on that. Okay, so I think we covered as much as we could cover with Legend of Korra and Avatar.
Hmm.
Um, but uh, any particular manga uh, topics that you're interested in discussing while we still have some time?
Honestly, right now I don't even know what I want to talk about. Like I talked to somebody earlier, and I'm still trying to decide what series I want to pick back up since I dropped every manga series I was reading at the time.
And how many weeks was this, or possibly months?
Oh god, I don't even know. Um, I've lost track. I I want to pick up One Piece again because I heard it's doing okay right now.
Well, we're at a resolution now, so
Yeah, so
this would be the best time to pick it up.
that
Not have to
might be
worry about
going.
time.
It will be going into something new, so I might do that. I don't know about Fairy Tail. I don't know if I can get back into Fairy Tail yet. It might be too soon.
Yeah, it is a little. Well, how would I describe it? Considering where it's at now, I'd suggest it's worth picking up for the information that's about to be uh, delivered to the fan base. Uh, and the reason why I say this is if you come across Fairy Tail Zero, the connection is going to be made now in the actual canon.
I do enjoy Fairy Tail Zero.
Fairy Tail Zero is actually better for a
I've
good
enjoyed it thus
stretch.
far.
Well, it has come to an end, and the reason being is because now the events of Fairy Tail Zero are actually going to be brought into the main storyline uh, as of the most recent chapter. So everything is starting to connect. So yes, give credit to Hiro Mishima. I know, as disgusting as that may sound, give him credit for doing something good. We haven't do that for this.
Yeah. So I don't know what I'm gonna pick up. Right now I'm reading an American graphic novel series and I'm just sticking with that. I'm reading Fables.
Ew, American comics.
Mm. I'm trying to get into them, and for a while I thought I wouldn't be able to, but then I realized I don't dislike American comic books. I just don't like superheroes all that much.
Oh, so then you're sort of the person that sort of wants something that's a bit more realistic,
Mm.
or has some feel to a realistic setting, even if there is some fictitious type of activity going
Well, I guess I do like some superheroes. I'm kind of fond of Spider-Man for some reason.
on. Iron Man is my guy.
Yeah,
Him and
I
the
don't.
Flash.
I'm not sure how I feel about Iron Man. Iron Man's one of those that I'm still on the fence about. I want to get more into him before I make a judgment there.
Well, you see, I was fond of Iron Man before the Iron Man blow up that we had in the late aughts.
Yeah.
So I
I
followed the cartoon originally. So I personally enjoyed Iron Man because of my childhood and growing up watching it.
I haven't seen any of the I haven't seen a Superman movie in not Superman, superhero movie in years. The
Yes.
last superhero movie that I watched beginning to end was I think it was one of the Dark Knight movies actually, so it was a little bit ago.
Uh, I think maybe the one that I've actually watched. That well, first of all, that haven't been the last superhero film that I actually went to a theater for was a Spider-Man film.
Was it The
I can't,
Amazing Spider-Man?
no, no, it was with Tobey Maguire. So this was
Oh
well
gosh.
before that. Yes. So it's been some time.
Hmm. I'm not I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the superhero. The superhero movies these days they're well done. I guess they're well executed more
The
often than not.
CGI.
But I'm just don't care as much about the source material. So if I like the source material, I would love the movies probably.
Mm.
There's a lot that I can't get I can't get into.
Well,
I don't know.
for me, once X-Men was done, I was gonna go to movie genre.
Have you seen the Avengers? How are
I
they?
I've seen the first. I have not seen Age of Ultron.
Uh,
I would
Was the first one
argue
okay?
uh, it's a lot of exposition. So if you're into the development of a world and understanding how things are connected and why certain events are happening, yes, that is your film.
All right.
But if you're wanting to see people start getting heads chopped off and
Nah, I don't need
it's
that.
gonna take a little bit of time. It's gonna take a good 30, 45 minutes into the film before you get consistent action.
I'm not a huge action guy. I feel like in a lot of cases action can become distracting in movies,
Mm.
and I'm a story person.
One of my favorite films, still one of my favorite films of all time, is The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And this
That
is
sounds
Sean.
extraordinary.
So this is with Sean, um, and I believe Stuart Townsend. And this was a film that had basically Sean Connery playing a famed hunter sniper. You had Dracula. You had Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. This was all in the same team. Captain Nemo and Dorian Gray. You know, the person with the portrait that doesn't age.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so they had to deal with Sherlock Holmes' arch rival, which is Moriarty. So it was a very interesting world. And what I loved about it was that there's so much development as to who is this warlord that's causing all these problems, just blowing stuff up all around. world, particularly in England. And it took, it was so ingenious how it was set up because the person that did it was the person that organized them to come together in the first place and set them on a wild goose chase.
I love those twists.
Right. So it was
It's
now
always
also
that person.
right. There was also an inside job because one of the persons that he called into the group, which was Dorian Gray, um, they were already on the same page. So he just brought somebody in to bring further confusion into the
Hmm.
whole plan. And the idea was, if I have them out doing all these things, searching for me, that actually frees me up because I know where they are at, so I can go ahead and do these things that I need to do here, as opposed to if they're around the world doing their own thing and they decide to intervene and muck up one of my plans. That can be problematic, but since I have them at my beck and call, going where I want them to go, I know for certain that I can do what I need to do. And I thought that was very brilliant, setting it up in that way.
Hmm. Like that sounds like an interesting an interesting setup. I definitely do like stories that are formatted like that. So
It's worth the look, it really is.
kind of want to check it out. I don't know if I will because there's so many things I want to check out, and I forget about 90% of them. But
It's a
at
little,
this moment right now, I am thinking that I want to check that out.
yes, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is, anytime it comes on, I stop what I'm doing and watch it because it's so good. It truly is so good because it merges different philosophies. Every single character that comes into the group has their own philosophy that at one point or another comes into effect um, in the storyline. So, for instance, the main character, Alan Quartermain, played by Sean Connery, um, lost his son. And so, in the series, there's this guy by the name of Tom Sawyer who comes in and sort of reminds him of his son. And so, he ended up teaching him how to shoot. And that came back to be a pivotal point, critical point in the film. So things like that are always cool.
Hmm. Hi, Anthony.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, just talking for quite a long time. You better have some good content to give us right now.
What?
You've had us talking for a very long time. You better have some good content to deliver now.
You
Yes,
say you need. You say you need a new topic.
I'm
I
saying
I
you give us
don't
some
know how much
content
further I can go
because
at
you've
this
been
point.
talking for a while.
About what?
We're not going into that.
No. What are
well,
you? What are you talking about?
well, we were initially discussing The Legend of Korra. We did that extensively. We're not going back to that again. I think we put the coffin on and we put the number coffin on that one. Um, and then we started talking about action films, and particularly superhero films, such as the Avengers, and what we found enjoyable in terms of a good film, particularly one that involves superheroes.
Superheroes.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, Anthony, I have a question for you. Have you been keeping up with One Piece?
Yes.
Okay. Did you read the most recent chapter?
What?
Did you
Did you
read the
read the
most
most
recent
recent
chapter?
chapter?
Yes, I read it.
Okay. Do you feel that Luffy was smart and just straight cold cocking Admiral?
No,
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Do you feel that he's gonna have to pay for that?
I do, but I don't think he's going to.
Okay. So then has anything changed in One Piece in the past 15, 16 years?
Like, what do you mean exactly?
In terms of Luffy doing something that everybody else wouldn't dare do, and he gets away scotch free, barely scathed. besides the physical wounds, obviously, but I mean, in other words, his reputation not only will be intact, but is actually further increased.
Consequences? What's that?
Thank you. You can imagine Luffy when he was younger having this conversation with his grandfather. He's like, Luffy, there's this thing called consequences. Luffy's like, consequences? I don't think I could eat that. Can I throw salt on it? No, pay attention.
Yeah, they're starting to kind of annoy me now.
Who are these people?
So we going to be talking about One Piece right now?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I was trying to explain that Luffy knows no such thing as consequences.
Wait, what's the question now?
No, the question was, has One Piece really changed in the past 15 to 16 years? Because if Luffy can still do the same thing that he did before, which is take on an authority he has no business challenging, and still walking out of it basically unscathed, aside from physical injuries, meaning that his reputation actually improved because of his idiocracy. Um, can we say that he's really matured at all?
Has he matured?
Right, has he matured? He's still making dangerous, bold-headed decisions.
No, he hasn't matured. I thought that was pretty obvious since
He has never
Fishman
changed.
Island.
He does not change. He's John Cena.
Uh, uh,
I don't know if I.
You're right. John Cena changed once.
that's a lie. I remember when he was probably yo, word life. Now he's all clean and doing the soldier salute. I was like, man, get out of here with that stuff. Does anybody remember that he dropped a rap album? I'm just gonna leave that right there and drop the mic.
He actually did a song in like 2014 with Wiz Khalifa.
Okay.
It was I'd say don't look it up.
So I'm guessing it went wheatgrass.
Do what now?
It went wheatgrass.
How do you spell
Uh,
consequences?
Well, con and then Sequences.
Could you just write in the chat?
Sure. Now, my spelling abilities have decreased since I've come out of college, so I apologize. I'm
You
pretty
said
sure it
you said your vocabulary increased.
has decreased since I stepped out of college, so I apologize. I'm pretty sure I'm spelling this word wrong.
Yeah, sure. Consequences. Yeah, okay. No, because I'm actually my viewers. Like, what do they think?
We maintained viewers over this past 40 minutes. Or
What?
however. Yusuf and I have maintained viewers over the past 40 minutes.
I guess so, because because people are watching this.
Oh my goodness. That's insane.
Well, Brady, that tells us that we have uh, a fan base that we have to maintain for the next coming weeks and months. So, um, reserve this time slot every Friday, and we're gonna have to go to work.
Yeah.
Get your
Yeah,
Starbucks coffee.
We'll have to bring the
Show.
charisma.
if you actually look at what's going on in the Google, whatever the thing is, where you where I edit the stuff, like the people, it's just like the people who are supposed to be watching it. Some of them have actually been, I guess you could say, keeping in contact in this sense. Basically,
Wicked.
good, I got it. Alright, thanks. So basically, I'm trying to interact more with my subscribers and stuff.
It's the way to go.
No, because for a while I kind of realized I wasn't getting that one. like I was getting subscribed. I'm getting them in like in the story, but I wasn't I wasn't getting. How do I don't even know where I'm going with this anymore.
Okay,
Comments?
so to your
Comments. There you go. That's what I was saying. I wasn't really getting like responses or anything. But then I realized that apparently some of my subscribers didn't even know I was still putting out videos.
Well, if people don't watch your video for a while, then YouTube's algorithm deems you as like lower priority, and often your videos will not show up in people's boxes.
Yeah, but part of the problem too is because there was a point in time. I think it was like what was it last year or well before I started doing the live streams more consistently. I wasn't putting out videos consistently.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, it's like the times where I really want to put out videos, it just doesn't work out so well for some reason. It's like yeah, I'm ready to put out more videos, and then I usually only wind up putting like maybe 2 or 3 at best, and then I just disappear off the face of the earth. So that kind of played a part. So I started deciding, you know what? I have this Google Plus thing. Why not utilize it more? So I started just adding all the people that I made a circle and I put all my subscribers and followers on Google Plus in that one circle. So that way I can see whatever it is that I post at this point.
Ah.
That and the fact that one of my subscribers flat out asked me why don't I put videos out anymore. I'm just like, and this is at a time where this was actually like a month ago. I was just like, it was kind of awkward because I was like, I'm putting out stuff. In fact, I've been putting out more stuff than I have in the last few years. But and that's kind of what made me like, oh, okay, I get it now. They don't even know I'm putting out content anymore.
that's
So
YouTube just like the subscription system's slightly broken.
it is broken because some people I'm subscribed to, I'm not getting notifications that they're putting out videos. Because for example, I just checked out one of the people I'm subscribed to, and I found like got like almost like 20 new videos out in a month's time. I'm just like, why don't I know about this?
Yeah. I'm thinking about just going to the email notifications instead of just relying on the sub box.
I'm not entirely familiar with YouTube, so
It's
it
stupid.
works for me best. How I know when Anthony wants to come on.
All right, so all right, so all right, let's get back to what we were talking about. All right, so we're talking about One Piece now.
And
All
this
right, so
is a
everyone's caught up to
tribute.
it, right?
Nope.
You're not caught up to it.
Nope.
Brady doesn't want to be
So
spoiled.
wait, so did you like drop it or something?
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. It's gone.
Really,
Forever.
really?
Never coming back.
You dropped the series?
Yes.
Why? I'd like to know why.
I got bored.
Huh?
I just got bored.
Okay,
Yep.
Brady, then what particularly bored you about One Piece? When did you realize this is not for you?
I was bored like around Fishman Island. And then I just kept going.
So you had
Yeah. So,
Dressrosa?
I didn't really like Dressrosa at all.
I didn't like it either, but what's your problems with it?
It was just like oversaturated with villains, and even though there were a couple good ones, they were only like a small fraction of what I would end up seeing on there. So it kind of just like I was weaving through the crap to get to what I actually wanted to see, and when I actually got to see what I wanted to see, it wasn't really worth it. That's kind of what I've been doing with One Piece for the past like year.
So Brady, I'm assuming that you've seen at least up to and he starts.
That's another thing.
Information.
That's another thing. I kind of wanted to make a stream kind of dedicated just like I guess like a Dressrosa overview, and everybody gets to put their thoughts on it. But
Dressrosa was long and basically Alabasta 2.0.
yeah, but it's like a subpar version of it though.
Well, it had to be. Nothing where you can touch Alabasta.
And you know what happens when you can't get better? You end the series.
Hey. The one saving grace of Dressrosa was the introduction of Aniko. So,
No, because
you can't complain.
I'm seeing people like say this is like one of the best arcs of the series, and I'm just like,
No,
I disagree.
it was the busiest arc of the series.
Correct.
yeah, but that's exactly why people are saying it's the best arc because there was so much happening. But I'm just like, just
No,
because there's a lot happening doesn't mean it was good.
What
because this
percentage
is
of it was good? Maybe like
35 maybe at most.
at most.
And
Like
that
I
is
will say
the
this, I would say this arc is going to be important for future events, but it's like here's how I see it. It's like I like the ideas behind the arc, behind the stuff that happened in this arc, but the execution was done horribly.
so you need to tell me that you're comfortable knowing that you had 2 years basically of exposition just so that you can actually get to the good stuff? Really?
Wait, what? No, I didn't hear what you said.
So you're telling me that you're comfortable and happy about having spent 2 years basically looking at exposition.
No, I said I liked some of the ideas behind the arc. I don't like the way it was executed.
I like
Right.
nothing about it.
Oh, okay, we're just gonna leave Brady where he is. And I'm gonna talk to you. I'm
I
gonna
can't.
talk I can't help you with that. I'm sorry. Nothing I can do. It's funny. I said we're gonna
Brady,
have to find periods that we disagree, and there we go.
okay, what are your issues with the arc, Yusuf?
I I felt the Coliseum was kind of important. It's that it would have been better if there were fewer combatants, so that you can actually have some sort of attachment to them. Because when I'm reading, remember, there's always a week in between, and when you're reading, like, oh yeah, who's he again? Oh, right, that guy. And who's this other guy? I don't know his name. Oh, but I guess he's helping out, so that makes cool. There's too many people to keep track of, and not enough time to actually develop some sort of relationship with the character.
Thank
And
you.
actually have some sort of actual concern, care about what happens with the character. Because I mean, some characters are basically off.
Thank you. You know what? You actually described one of my biggest problems with this arc. There was too many characters and most of them were not fleshed out well.
You see, this is why Oda usually gets it right when he takes his time introducing new characters, like what he did for the Supernovas. He basically gave you the auction on the Shivali Archipelago for the purpose of introducing to you Supernova. And he did that rather nicely. And I feel like that could have taken place here in Dressrosa, but probably minus 13 to 15 characters.
Yeah,
Could
but
have taken 5 or 6. Because if you think about it, the ones that we actually care about, Bartolomeo, um, Cavendish, uh, Sai maybe, Heroes, that's it, really.
I
Oh,
don't
and
care about Sai.
no, he's going to be important. Since
Yeah, I know, but I know he's gonna be.
Dice
I know he's
gap.
gonna be. I know he's gonna be important, but I don't care about him though.
he's
I
better.
think I'll give him that he's a little more fleshed out than the other ones.
Right. Who's
Yeah,
the other
bitch.
person? Oh, Kiros and the Tentados
Dancing
actually.
Joe.
Oh, yes, thank you, Don Chin Chow. And Baby 5. We all love Baby 5.
Yes.
Hey
Mm.
guys.
When it comes,
You gotta
Uh,
go?
I
what?
Hey guys, I gotta go. I think I'll just leave you here since I'm not really gonna participate in this conversation. I gotta head out.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of do myself, honestly. Um,
So I'll
so,
leave you guys to wrap this up.
yeah.
All right.
Alright, Brady. Sign off. Thank
I'll,
you.
I'll try to be here next week. All right.
Same time, same place.
Peace out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm only gonna need for just to wrap up my point here, and then we can put this to a close. But yes, there's just too many characters, so little time to explain everything while also trying to speak of on Doflamingo's viciousness. It was just too much to take in at once. I think being able to read it in one fell swoop, once we get the volumes, released, makes it easier. But
I
in the
do.
moment, reading week to week is very unbearable.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that because I've watched. Well, look, at least I guess when it comes to like watching anime anyway, I've watched certain arcs in its entirety, and there's still some parts I was just like, and plus the length, it's still gonna be a problem because it's almost 100 chapter arc that didn't need to be this long. And on top of that, it feels like a mess.
Well, here's the thing. We got Sabo out of it, so I can't complain.
Yeah, but whatever.
Hey,
I'm kind of over the Sabo hype at this point.
or don't disrespect Sabo, bro. Hey, he's very important. Okay?
I like Sabo as a character. I'm just over the hype right now. It's not even his fault. I'm just burnt out.
Too much Sabo hype.
I don't even know if you can even call it hype because you even get to see him do anything really.
Well, he did. It's just that we
Well,
expected
at least most of the stuff got off screen. But then again, that goes back into the whole having too many characters, and not just having too many characters, but having too many big name characters in one arc. Because you have Fujitora, you had the CPO, you had Sabo, you have Burgess, and it's like you have all these big guys, but they can't go ham or whatever because it's supposed to be about like Luffy versus Doflamingo. So all these guys get sidelined, and some of them got sidelined in some of the most like dumbest ways, like the whole birdcage thing, and how everyone got reduced to pushing the birdcage, and that was just dumb.
well, Fujitora uh, took himself out of the fight.
Yeah, okay, I understand that he forced himself out the fight, but still, it was the way it was done was poor, in my opinion. Look, it could have been done better. Personally, I don't think he needed to be in this arc in general.
No, I think he's very important because he established the tone of what's going to happen with the Shishibukai.
Yeah,
How the
but
long.
I felt like his presence is also kind of taken away from Doflamingo.
No, I think his presence was perfect because it shows just how evil Doflamingo really was. He saw absolute justice in terms of Shishibukai.
Yeah, but because of some of the events that happened, it kind of makes him look incompetent.
No, not really. I can't argue that because if you think about it, justice prevailed on his watch. True justice prevailed on his watch. Can't call that incompetence.
Well, I suppose. I don't know.
Well, all right. I'm gonna have to head out. So uh, it's been fun. Hopefully, we can start a little earlier so that we can get some more conversation going. Uh, have a
So,
little bit larger
sorry,
team.
yeah, sorry about.
No problem. But yeah,
Yeah,
definitely looking forward to next week if we can do it at a little earlier time.
yeah, sorry about that. It's just kind of like I don't know. I guess bad timing.
Yeah. Well, all right, man. I'm signing off. So take care.
All right. All right. Um, I guess the stream will be ending soon. We're gonna see if anyone else is gonna be joining. All right, just a minute. All right, so I think I'll be ending this in 2 minutes. I'll be ending this at 11:30. which would be 8:30 Western time. Alright, so 2 more minutes. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'm sorry I wasn't actually on it that much, but that came up, I guess. I will say this, whenever I actually do hit like 100 subscribers, I will do a Q&A live stream. And you guys can just ask whatever you want to ask me on that stream. Don't know, I just read this, it might take a while. I might put another video out soon. Alright. So, yeah, so rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Wait, before I go, I probably should. Yeah, I think I'm done here. So, yes, rate, comment, subscribe. Should mention I'm actually watching a live stream while doing a live stream, so it's. So, anyway, have a good day, people. And I'm waiting until it's at 11:30 and then I'll close this out. Alright, later.